I'm retired Battalion Chief Larry Cockman from the Greensboro, North Carolina Fire Department History Book Committee. We're here today at the Greensboro Historical Museum. I'm standing in front of the General Green, the first steam pumper, or as they called it back then, the steamer. Today, December 9th, 2019, we are starting a new tradition of recording and preserving the heritage and culture of our retirees. Our retirees have contributed so much to the success of our great fire department. Their stories retire with them and are sometimes gone forever when they pass away. They will share their emergency calls that will always be a part of their memories forever. So sit back and listen as they carry us through their journey in the Greensboro Fire Department.
W. Frank Jones, that's what I've gone by all along. All right, and I'm 83 years old.
Okay.
And I've retired as a fire chief. That's exactly right. I grew up in the mill village.
Okay.
I worked for P. Lord. I was young, I was single, I didn't want to work at night, I didn't like the hours, and I left to play at night. So,
Okay.
and I played a lot of ball. You know, I played basketball, and put it that way, but I did play in the North Carolina All-Star game in 55. Go back in office and fill out an application.
Okay.
And that's about it. I think Wouche took my application.
Okay.
I had a lot of friends at the fire department. I didn't want to come. I would go up there and shoot pool and play ping pong. And no, that was it. They offered me a job, and I took it. Oh, we was in the first training class in the new building, and we was the first ones to ever do it on an hourly basis instead of a working training. And in fact, it wasn't all completed. They were still working on things. We didn't have a smoke lab and different things. Didn't have a life net. We found that out early. And so it was very enjoyable. We had a wonderful time. Jay McCarter, W.C. Allen, Butch Hagler, Randall Simpson, Frank Howell. Oh, and that's one thing that I said when I saw that question. I said, not only were we close, we looked after each other. We were friends. We, every so many years, we'd have a reunion, just our group. And we've always been close. And we had to be. See, when we went on, all the regular firefighters, they called us 30-day wonders. So they felt like we felt like, they felt like we felt like that we were as good as them or better, but we didn't.
Right.
They had to wait and learn. Didn't have a training captain, had a training chief, R.L. Powell. We used to drag race from the every day at lunch. We drag race from the fence down there where it went north of the station. The creek was down there and there was a fence. Well, we'd all drag race. See, all the training officers and the garage left to go eat. And we would drag race from there out to the tower. But we had some funny things. Hagler, Butch Hagler had a Ford, and the fastest car there was J.E.'s, the Chevrolets. He had a new Chevrolet. And so Butch, he kept outrunning me, J.E. did, because that Ford just wouldn't handle that Chevrolet. But it handled everything else. Randall Simpson had a Ford. But anyway, Butch had a 51 Ford, a Ford-O-Matic, and he wanted to try it, see what it would do between there and the tower. So I got in it to look at the speedometer. As he run it, I would know when we passed a certain place, you know how fast it was going. And when he got at the end of the garage, he slammed on brakes and throwed me through the windshield, knocked the windshield out of his car. But I mean, that's just, you talking about fun. I wasn't the most popular guy in the fire department either. I don't know why. But anyway, they seemed like they wanted to hold me back because I was into everything. And I know the first time I took the captain's test, I made pretty good on it, but I didn't get promoted. And I was ready to quit, and would have if I'd have got the job that I was trying to get, but I didn't. So right after that, I got promoted. So, but they still held me back a lot. Okay. Because I had to learn a lot, and people helped me a lot. That's the thing about the fire department. You can get the help. Well, a lot of people helped me. There's one right there.
Chief Perry.
Yeah, and Chief Powell helped me.
He must have liked you.
Well, he couldn't show it. You know him.
Yeah.
And a lot of people helped me. I mean, really and truly, you learn from every fireman there. It's like going to college. When you go to work there, you learn from each other. And loyalty and stuff like that is almost a must. And I might not have had all of that I needed. Well, it's just like I said, we stayed together, we worked together, even off duty, we did things. And I probably learned more from most of the firemen than I did from my own father. Now, that's a fact. Central Station at Truck 2. I'll give you a story about that.
Let me have it.
They wouldn't let me be on the pumper.
Why is that?
Because I give them a hard time in training and running them. Chief Honeycutt.
How was he?
How was he?
Was he
Quiet.
Quiet. Okay.
He's a quiet man.
Yeah.
But he's a smart man. Yeah. Burl Cavness was on there. Mm-hmm. He was a driver on Truck 2, and Honeycutt was my captain, and I don't know, we may have just had 3 men on the truck. I'll tell you one that somebody took a shotgun and shot it up in the central station up through the hole when I was up there. I got blamed for everything.
You got blamed for everything?
Yeah, anything that went wrong, I got blamed for it. Well, some of them just didn't go for it. First, you couldn't belong to the union. So the International come in and wanted to get it brought back. And I was picked to go to Raleigh and talk to the legislators about it and things that should be done to the fire service, which of course you know the top echelon didn't like that. So that was one thing I would say probably held me back some. But anyway, in fact, the International hired me to go down to Raleigh and work. Mm-hmm. And I did it. And then I become president of the union when we got it here. I was president of the North Carolina Professional Firefighters Association. A good friend of mine, Ned Perry, he and I pretty much handled everything. You have to know when you change. Oh, I feel great about my job. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I wouldn't trade it for nothing. In fact, if I'd have done it a little bit different, I might have could have been better, but I didn't. So when you look at it and the way everything come out, I can't argue about it. We had a Kelly Day. That's when we started the Kelly Days. And you know, I've been into that, changing hours ever since I've been there, because I didn't like the hours, and I've done everything I could to change them. I've tried to change a lot of stuff. We just wanted shorter hours. In other words, we wanted the 24 hours, but we wanted the days off to where you could have time off. And we kept moving that way. And the only thing you have to be careful with that is they'll start putting you on 8 hours in 3 shifts if you keep pushing. And I didn't like that idea. So most firemen don't like it. So down there across from the Buick place, there used to be some shotgun houses down there. And one of them was burning from one end to the other. And Bull Price was my captain at that time. I think he might have been my first captain on that truck, because Honeycutt had just got promoted. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we got on the front porch, and I had a hose, because that truck company had one hose on it, an inch and a half. And so I was in the doorway, and that thing was burning from one end to the other. And Bull Price was telling me to get myself in there. I wasn't going in there. And he kept shoving hose, and I kept shoving hose. He couldn't see me. Well,
once you became chief.
Yeah, we had medical calls, and from a standpoint of the fire department and response time, they were good. They didn't send the fire truck out on answer a medical call. There's many reasons for that. The men on the companies don't have or they might now, but they didn't have the same training as EMS or EMTs. Yeah. So they were better qualified to respond, and they did a good job. I don't even know where they run them now or not. Oh, no question about it. Firemen saved a lot of lives. And it's another thing that firefighters need to recognize, that the camaraderie of the firefighter, you go in pairs. You don't go in, you saw them, they was going in groups when they go in a place. They don't leave it up to chance. And that's one of the things that everybody has an ability. And when you work together, one guy's ability may be better in one area than the other's ability. So you help each other out. That's what the whole job's about. Gordon Perry, for one. Yeah, he's one of the best minds in fire equipment there is. R.L. Powell. R.L. Powell was a mentor. I don't know how, but he didn't like me as a person. I think he liked the way I thought sometimes. Yeah, I've had some tough times. Had a heavy duty dump truck hit a car on going 220, and hit it in the side, killed a little girl, and we got there. I was at 11. Were you? Okay. And that little girl was there, and the mother was driving and her eyes open, and we had to take the truck. The ambulance broke down, and we had to end up hooking the truck to the car to pull the side of the car out. And yeah, that was, and I've seen some more. I mean, when I was at 8, we answered a house fire, and we got the house fire knocked down, and we thought it was a doll, baby doll laying on the bed, but it wasn't. It was a baby. And I had one at home the same age. I tell you, stuff like that gets to you. And then you have things that happen like Jesse Gray. You just, well, you never forget it, but you put it over here in a spot that you can pick it up at any time. And that means a lot, that you're big enough that you can put something away, but not do away with it.
That's good.
It's like Jesse Gray. Jesse was a friend of mine, and the guy driving the truck was a better friend. Fred, see, you don't ever forget them things. And I felt worse for Fred than I did Jesse, because he's got to live with it, or had to live with it as long as he lived. And when I made captain, when I made battalion chief, people don't realize it, and they may, I don't know. But I went from a battalion chief to the chief of the fire department in about 7 years, and that was
good.
Skipped a slot or two in there too. There's some things I'd do again, there's some things I wouldn't do. Some things is hard when you get in there. I'm telling you, people don't realize it. Well, for one thing, equipment. I mean, we had the best. I mean, I'm not saying it because he's sitting over there, but we had the best guy. He never got the opportunity to do some of the things that he wanted to do. Gordon Perry, that's right. The city likes to buy cheap, and it cuts you back. You know, you see what color fire trucks we got now, don't you? Red and white. And they were yellow there for a while. We didn't like that, did we? I'm a mason, I'm a Shriner. It makes you a better man. You're talking about being together, being to help each other. That's what it's all about. If you go back and look, that's what they do. One that's dedicated, one that's got incentive to better himself, better to listen to the other people around him. It's like going to school again. When you're working for the fire department, you can learn from everybody because everybody does something different. And if you learn from each person and you work together, then you're just increasing your own knowledge, plus you're helping somebody. You're talking about the rookie class I was in. We helped each other from the day that we went to work together. We built houses, we built barns, we built vehicles, and there's somebody in the fire department that can do anything. I don't care what it is. Well, my family was number one. They first. They allowed me to go and do things and better myself. And by me bettering myself, it made them better. I think. I believe it did. And it's just like you put yourself in a group and you try to make it better. And the family's the same way. You try to help each other, because in the end, family's all you got. I mean, that's just what it is. You're not going to believe this, but Carlton Summers, probably, I learned more from him than I did other people away from the fire department. And of course, now he was married to my cousin, which didn't mean nothing. You know Gus. he's one of a kind, and he'll let you know it if he was here. But no, and another one is Jack Rumley. I learned from Jack Rumley. These guys knew how to make money. I mean, that was the bottom line. And it's like I said, you can learn. You don't have to copy them or emulate them. You learn from them and take what you can do, and it makes you a better man. How's my health?
How's it been?
I'm a walking time bomb. You tell them a lot. What I've sat here and talked about today is being together, working with each other, learn to help each other, teach each other. That's what fire department's about. If you leave that, you go to class every day, it's like going to school continuously. And I didn't like it that much when I was there. And another thing you asked me a while ago about religion. And you ask a fireman, we went to church every Sunday. And you worked. We had a preacher or a Sunday school guy to come and teach us about the Lord and things to do. And I never will forget when I was down at Levin, we had a Sunday school teacher come by every Sunday. He was good, and we were cocky down there, and every one of us would say, if you did anything, I'm number one. I'm number one. And we was in the kitchen, and the Sunday school teacher taught the Sunday school class, and I got up, took him to the front door and let him out. And I come running back in that kitchen just as hard as I could, and I jumped up in the middle of the kitchen table. I said, I'm number 2. So you have to realize who's number 1 in this life, and who's, I put myself 2 as high. I know there's a lot more higher than me in that. Well, that's one thing that we live for, is to have a good time, but to do everything that you're supposed to do. And that's what I tried to get people to do. If you go have a good time, have a good time. But when it comes time to do your job, you do your job. And it'll work out. He's talking about that, and they sent me up there as a captain and up there anyway. We had to keep our radios on and had to listen to this is when they didn't have the operators down there in that operating room. And the guys got where they wanted to play with the radios. And they just worried the heck out of me. They go down there and mess with that radio, and me and Arnold and somebody else, we'd have to get up and go down and mess with the radio. And so I got up one night to go down, and I seen a light on under like one of them green blankets. So I decided I'd look at it. I went over and pulled that blanket up, and they was hid under that blanket, and they was messing with the radios, and they had put a speaker back there in my room to where every time that thing would go off, it'd go off in my room. And they come back there and wanted their speaker. I still got that speaker today. They'll never get that speaker back. But I bet I got up 20 times in a few nights messing with that dadgum radio. And they was doing it just to me.
We hope you enjoyed watching these documentaries. It was our goal to share and preserve the memories of our retired Greensboro firefighters. It is our desire that these documentaries will inspire future generations to continue the brotherhood, sisterhood, and camaraderie while always striving for excellence in their careers. While fire apparatus, equipment, and technology have improved, several things will always remain the same. The courage and bravery it takes to mitigate natural and man-made disasters will always be a part of the job. Although our retirees are no longer a physical part of the GFD world, a giant piece of each retiree's memories have been shared with you today. These memories will be in their hearts and minds forever. A special thank you goes out to Captain Harold Haney for his many long hours of recording and editing. Thank you, Harold. A job well done.